Hope Springs.
Hope Springs? I don't believe it.
True? Well, actually, my real name's Muriel Bloggs, but it was hardly right for this game, was it?
What game?
Beauty contest, of course.
Hang on, wait a minute. Don't tell me you're a competitor.
Of course I am. See?
Miss Easy Rider.
I beat 14 other girls for that.
Hope springs eternal in the human breast, just in case you didn't get it. And Barbara Windsor's boobs and a talent have carried her a long way over those wonderful Carry On years. She's now appearing in entertaining Mr. Sloane, and the playwright Joe Orton is now dead. But a long, long time ago, he told Barbara that he'd like her to play the lead, and now she is.
Yes.
That's right. About 20 years ago.
Yeah, quite a few years ago. I was having a drink with him and Kenny Williams, who was his best friend, and he leaned across one day and he said, "Here, Bar, when you're the right age, will you play Kath in entertaining Mr. Sloane?" He then said something very rude after that, and I can't tell you what it was. Actually, he said, "What you've got to believe at the end of Act One that Mr. Sloane does want to make love to Kath," but he didn't put it so delicately. But it's a strange play.
Some Anglo-Saxon terms, did he?
That's right, my darling.
Your role, Kath, is the one that's played by Beryl Reid.
That's right, in the film.
In the film, right. So tell us a bit about it, because it's quite complicated.
Yeah, well, it's about this strange family who live in a house next to a rubbish dump, and this family consists of Kath, who's in her 40s, menopausal, and old Dada, who's a cranky old thing, and then there's Ed, her brother, who visits every so often, and he's very Sergeant Major and butch and homosexual. And into their lives comes this beautiful young man of 20 called Mr. Sloane. Kath picked him up in the library. She lusts after him, so does the brother. So he knows this, he manipulates them both. And then tragedy strikes, and he ends up by being manipulated. As you know, it's a very black comedy. It's funny, but very
tragic, funny.
Yes,
I thought she picked him up in a graveyard.
No, that's in the film, darling, when they had to open the film up.
Yeah.
But it's quite rude, Ducky.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I remember
There's
it.
some hairy scenes.
What, I mean, is this business about Peter Dean walked out?
Oh, yes, darling. Well, a week and a half into the show, there was artistic differences with the director. That's what they say, don't they, dear?
Yes.
But we were
More
very...
Anglo-Saxon words.
Yeah. But we were very lucky because we got that our lovely John, you know, from Fools and Horses, which was smashing, you know, John Chalice, you know, who plays Boise.
Yes,
and he was our original choice. And we were lucky he was available, because he's never available, darling. He's always busy, and he is wonderful. I'm so lucky.
These theatrical scenes, as you put them, I suspect, although they must be pretty horrible at the time, they're stuff that memoirs are sort of built on, or maybe diaries. Have you been reading Kenneth Williams' diaries?
Yes, I've been doing some promotion for the writer, actually, because I come off very well. I've got 27 mentions, so his sister Pat tells me, and me and Maggie Smith come off okay. You know.
Do you think, I mean, reading, I read the sort of serialisation, I think it was in the Mail about them, and it was very hard to kind of to work out whether he was being funny, whether he had his tongue very firmly in his cheek, and when he was actually being really serious, because he was very up and down.
Yeah, I never knew. I never knew. I mean, you'd go into a restaurant with him, and he'd pick the farthest table in the corner, you know, and sit with his back towards everybody, because he said, "I didn't want to talk to anyone, didn't want to sign any autographs." And then suddenly about an hour into the room, he'd let that voice get bigger and bigger and high, and oh yes, because nobody was taking any notice of him, and he didn't like that, you see. And he was strange, but I loved him and I miss him. I don't think there's a week goes by that I don't miss him.
No. He loved you as well. He was terrible.
Oh yeah, we got on. Well, he said that he liked me and he'd like to marry me because he said, "You're the only one who cleans her teeth after lunch on the Carry On movies." And then he said, "If you ever left Ronnie Knight," he said, "would you marry me? But there'd be no sex."
Oh.
Yeah, he actually told that to my husband now, Stephen. He said the same. He said, "I wanted to marry her, but you know."
Did you realise that he was so tormented sexually? You know that he had all this.
No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't, because he used to talk about. He said, "Oh, he's nice, isn't he? Oh, I like him."
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm quite surprised at what I'm reading, actually.
What else about him? You know, have you discovered that you weren't aware of when you knew him?
Well, no, I knew what he was like. I knew he was strange, you know, not like the normal man. But, I mean, he just thought the fact that he was homosexual, that it was disgusting. He was disgusted with himself, which was rather sad, yes, because we should all do what we want to do, eh, darling? That's what makes life
He was born too early, I suppose, really. He could have been born, you know,
yeah,
30 years
I
on.
suppose so, yes.
I remember you telling us once that he went on your honeymoon with you.
Oh, yeah, that was the first one, I know. We never spoke. Because he wouldn't sign autographs, and I do, so I'm very good with the people. They come up and say, I say, "Yes, to so-and-so, lots of love, Barbara Windsor." Somebody went up to him and he went, "No, I'm on holiday." And because I had a right go at him, didn't I? I said, "How can you speak naughty or public like that. And there was his little mum, Louie. She said, don't you ever get my Kenny. If he don't want to sign autographs, don't have to. And all that I got, you see. So we never spoke. And he used to go off with Ronnie Knight and he used to leave me. You know, but there you go. But I loved him, and as I say, I do miss him. They're all going, and lovely to see that excerpt of Bernie Bresslaw.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I worked with him all last year.
He wasn't ill, was he?
No,
I mean,
no,
nothing...
but I suppose it's the way to go, isn't it, Darren? Just before you're going out on stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should, shouldn't we?
Well, look, I mean, the Entertaining Miss Sloane, it's the first production that's actually been on tour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's never been on tour. It's amazing, you know. Orton's in at the moment because there's Luke's been playing What the Butler Saw. Down in London, there's a wonderful production, Crimes of Passion, at the Man of the Moon Theatre. So Orton is in. I mean, when it was out before, I mean, they used to walk out in droves. They were disgusted and all the rest of it. And Emerald Littler, the big producer at the time, tried to have it taken off. Terence Rattigan said it was the best play ever in 30 years. You know, it's great for me because I get a chance not only to be glamorous, and I do show the boobs actually, believe it or not, I do get a chance to be woman in the dressing gown. You know, I wear the false plate and everything, and the pop socks. So it's lovely for me.
Good
yeah,
stuff.
it's
Meet you,
good
Ralph.
stuff.
Well, look, where are you? We mustn't let you go
Oh,
without telling us
well,
where
darling,
you are.
we're going all over. We're going to Crewe.
Going to
I'm
Crewe.
dying to go to a lovely theatre, and we're going to places like Hornchurch, Brighton, next week Malvern, lovely places.
So basically, if anyone keeps their eyes open, at some point you will be in
I'll
their
catch you.
area.
Thanks for your plug.
No.
Oh, it's a great plug.
And
Thank
great
you
to
for
be on
coming.
your
Lovely
last show.
talking
I'm
to you.
glad you're coming back.
Yeah, back in
Okay,
September.
sweet.
It'll be the 1000th show then. I'm glad to have you on the 999th.
Can I say
Yeah.
to all my lovely company, because they're darlings.
You're
Right.
more than welcome.
Love you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Take
you,
care. Have a
sweet.
good summer.
Thank you.